I've been suffering from depression since the age of 16. I used to self-cut. Then I tried to commit suicide. I'm actually lucky to be alive. I got to the ER. They tried to revive me for 45 minutes. No pulse, no nothing. They managed to revive me. I started having convulsions. Apparently my skin had turned ashy gray. And that's one of the first signs that you're on your way out. And it's not the way everyone explains it to be. You don't have the fairy tale in terms of what happens in movies, where you see a white light. No, it's none of that. So I'm going to be very candid as to what I went through, what I've been through, and how it resonates with everyone else, and see if I can help anyone who's in the same situation. That's more or less the gist of the talk. And just to be grateful for what you have, because 2 months ago, apart from the suicide attempt, I was on the verge of not walking again, which most of you would not pick up. I had major spinal surgery, 4-hour surgery. I had 2 slipped discs from an accident that I had in 2013, and my health had deteriorated. So I'm lucky to be here and to be telling you this. So anyway, as I said, I'm going to switch now and then. I think everyone can hear me clearly, right? So generally, I grew up within the Roman Catholic Church. My parents are both from the Roman Catholic Church. Started off St. Michael's, Hartman House. Decided to deviate a little bit, Kutama, and then St. George's. And then for my university, I was at the University of Pretoria, did my first degree there, my law degree. Did my master's while I was working. And then also did my debt counseling certificate, and then came back home at the end of 2011. 2012 started working for Old Mutual, worked for Old Mutual till 2015. That's just a little bit of background as to what I've done. But it all ties up to the fact that I want everyone to be grateful for what they had. Because I'll tell you, after 34 years of walking, and to be told that you might not walk tomorrow, changes your perspective on life, it changes your perspective on things. And as I said, I've been through that. And also the fact that, a lot of people don't talk about depression. A lot of people go through it. I was diagnosed as bipolar as well. If anyone knows what bipolar is, it means that I have mood swings. And those mood swings are unpredictable. It can be mania, where you're extremely excited, full of energy, you work well, people think you're okay, and then that switches off and you get depressed. And once you hit the downward spiral, anything goes. As I said, I've kind of done it, so I think I'll take it from there. As I said, I think I've given you enough of my little history. So as I said, today's theme is gratitude, and I think the first thing that I'll look at is what my parents went through. I've tried to commit suicide not once, but on a couple of occasions. I started when I grew up. I think the first thing I need to do is give you background on when I grew up. When I grew up, as I said, I started off at St. Michael's. I repeated my grade 3 when I was at St. Michael's. I didn't know what was going on then. When I got to grade 4, they discovered that I was dyslexic. Does anyone know what dyslexia is here?
Yes.
Does everyone know what dyslexia is? Okay, dyslexia is a learning disability. It's a challenge in terms of reading and general comprehension, but it doesn't affect someone's degree of intelligence. So some kids are dyslexic, they're just not diagnosed yet because it's something that we're not familiar with. So in grade 4 I was diagnosed as dyslexic, and then to add to the dyslexia, I had a hole in my eardrum. Can't hear in my right ear even till today. My hearing is minimal. And these are some of the life challenges that I talked about. That I think was my first real challenge in life. That, okay, I've been told I'm dyslexic, I've been told I can't hear in one ear. What does that mean for me? A lot of teachers wrote me off. I was told from as young as grade 4 that I would never get a degree. I'd be lucky to finish high school. Look a couple of years down the line, I have a degree, I have most of my master's degree, and I've got a couple of other certificates. So life challenges can be overcome. It's all about how you take a particular challenge. And then after that first hurdle of mine, I think the next important milestone was effectively dealing with the depression, I managed to get through high school, get through primary school, got through high school. Next important, as I said, milestone was my first suicidal attempt. I started self-cutting myself at the age of 16. And no one knew, if you look at my hands, I've got cuts on my hands even till today. As I said, it's been difficult to talk about depression with anyone. It's stuff that a lot of us hide. I know a lot of us get depressed, and a lot of us have thought about suicide at some point in time or another. It can resonate, I'm sure, one or two of you, where you felt like that. So, first suicide attempt was after I had, I think it was just after my O-levels. Had a serious fight with my father on the night that I tried to commit suicide. It was, I think I got my results, they were decent. My dad wanted me to go back to Butama, I didn't want to go back to Butama. Got into a bit of a fight. I took an overdose of prescription medication. I think the first time I was rushed to Avenues. Pumped out on the way to Avenues. I can remember I was sitting in the back of the car, I wasn't completely out of it. My father said something to me that I think shaped our relationship till this day and age. The fight was so bad with my dad that he said that you are not my son. And this was said out of love. I mean, a lot of people, we tend to say a lot of things in anger, and I knew where my dad was coming from. I mean, he's one of the most loving people, most welcoming people, but we generally tend to say a lot of things out of anger. I think that affected our relationship till this year, where I tried to understand my father, tried to understand who he is, the way he thinks, and everything else. So I mean, we have a love-hate relationship with my dad, but he's the most amazing man. I think if I was ever asked to pick a father again, I'd still pick him. The next important hurdle was that very same year as well, I refused to be confirmed in the Roman Catholic Church. And I know this one will rub Father Paja the wrong way. And the reason why I refused to be confirmed in the church, I mean, I'd done the whole year of confirmation classes. This was on the day of confirmation. They had bought the white uniform and everything, and everyone was all excited. Literally a couple of hours before confirmation. Told my dad, I don't think I'm ready for it. Got into another fight with my dad, naturally, coming from a Roman Catholic family. He asked me, so why don't you want to be confirmed? I told him I wasn't ready. I felt I'd be lying to the congregation and lying to myself. This was at the age of 16. I think till today it was the right thing to do. If you're not ready to make that type of commitment, because I believe confirmation is a big step. You step in front of a congregation, it's not just about you, it's about your belief, it's about your faith and how it ties down. I refused to be confirmed because back then I had, how can I put it, a lot of religious contradictions. I was angry with God. Told him, okay, I'm dyslexic, I can't hear in one ear, all this is going on, and I don't feel like being there. And I felt that my success was my own. I forgot to be grateful for the little things that I had. My intelligence, a loving family, a patient family who managed to take me through extra lessons, remedial classes, who made me the person that I was then. And it boils down to the theme of gratitude. That in anger we tend to forget what matters, who has made you what you are, the fact that you need to forgive and be forgiven, you need to forgive yourself where you need to forgive yourself and you need to move forward. We tend to take a lot of things for granted, as I said. But anyway, that was my first suicide, and one of many. I'll tell you that, several of them. I think the last one was the scariest, where when I eventually woke up, when I woke up in hospital after a suicidal attempt, I think the scariest thing was the expression on my parents' faces. It was disbelief. They didn't know how to handle me. They didn't know what to say to me. They didn't know where to start. And we talk about the so-called breakthrough moment. My mother has been a Christian for years. She's been praying for me for years. It didn't resonate till this year. After my last suicidal attempt, I think I've become a lot more grateful for what I have. She knew my contradictions with the church. They've tried everything from my dad's brother, comes from a apostolic faith, you know the way they do things there. For anyone who's been to one of the churches, yes, I've been there. I've been to Seventh-day Adventist churches, I've been to the Pentecostal churches, yes, the Magayas and the Makandios of this world. It actually did absolutely nothing. Because I don't think I'd gotten to the point where I was actually grateful for what I had. As I said, things got so bad that I lost focus of who I was, so I started gambling. Has anyone ever slept outside in winter? We're talking about Zimbabwe, as in no blanket, no nothing. Have you tried sleeping outside? Yeah, you better be grateful you've got a roof over your head. I've done that before, not just in Zimbabwe, when I was in South Africa as well. When I started having my so-called life challenges. You begin to be grateful for absolutely the smallest of things. If anyone has been to Pretoria or Joburg and spent winter there, will know how cold it gets. And I said I lost focus of a lot of things. I lost focus of family, I lost focus of who I was. It's kind of a bit everywhere. And as I said, my mother eventually, my breakthrough moment was, I guess, my mother's constant prayers. My dad also has these issues with religion. Funnily enough, we're both lawyers. My dad's, I think it's no secret, my dad's a former Attorney General. But I was in the yesteryears. I was forced to follow in Daddy's footsteps and everything else. But depression is there. And when Father Paja came to my house the first time, he saw what condition I was in. I was willing to try again. I literally sat back, I Googled for 6 months how to kill myself. This was a foolproof plan. Prescription meds, I was on painkillers because my back was really bad. I had access to the medication, tons of it. I think it was on the night of the 6th of September, if I'm correct. My parents had gone to bed. Sat back, I took my medication. I thought everyone would have gone to sleep. I took my pain meds, mixed them up with alcohol, and as I said, sure way out. The doctors actually said that I'm actually lucky to be alive. And as I said, I saw my mother breaking down for the first time. She knew my contradictions with the Roman Catholic Church. She asked Father Pacha and every other person who's come and preached religion. If you've ever watched those vampire movies where they try to bring them into the church or put a cross in front of them, that's exactly the way I behaved. Nope, I wasn't willing to listen to it. But it resonated with me eventually that there is more to life. Life does have challenges. It doesn't matter whether it's suicide, whether it's depression. I'm not going to go into everything that I've been through. I was engaged in South Africa for 2 years, broke off that engagement when I came home, was with the wrong person. So challenges come in different shapes and forms. And we generally tend to belittle someone's challenges because we haven't been there before. We look at someone on the street, most of us walk by. Don't even think how or where that person's going to get through. A lot of blind people on the street. How many of you have thought how that person's going to get home? Who's guiding them home? What are they eating? How do they get there? We have a lot of things to be grateful for, but we never seem to consider that. It took me trying to commit suicide for probably the 7th or 8th time, and I've done it all. I've drank poison, you name it, from tobacco chemicals to rat poison. God just told me my time's not right. I fell sick, I think first year last year, took rat poison, took enough to kill me. I was sick for a week. I think I was vomiting all sorts of yellow stuff. Survived that. Came home, tried again, took, my mom's a tobacco wash, she used to farm tobacco, she's a farmer as well. Tried taking Tamara, purple label, took it. I didn't even end up in hospital, I was sick again. Thought about hanging myself, I was like, oh, that's way too painful. Thought about cutting my wrists, I was like, that's way too painful. As I said, life generally has challenges. And today it's to learn to appreciate those challenges. I'm glad that I can actually walk. I'm not supposed to have been walking. I walked away from an accident that if you looked at the car, no policeman believed that anyone survived that accident. My car's engine was 30 meters away from my car. Impact was so bad that it's 30 meters, and the funny thing is my car was facing the other way from where my engine was.
You might be invincible.
The fact that I almost died makes me, I'm not invincible. No. I think, as I said, I've gotten to the point that I'm grateful. And if I can change anyone's life, I told myself, today is the day. Now is the time. I've been working with Father Paja on various projects in terms of the way I can show my gratitude. I've told myself that maybe it's not me to make money. I mean, I've made money. There's a time that I used to make $5,000 a week, over and above my salary. Anyone can make money. You'll begin to realize that it's not money that makes you happy. It's not material things. It's the little things that matter. It's family support. It's what you do with your life. It's the things that you're grateful for. I'll tell you now, if you steal your money and you're always living on the run, you've got nothing to be grateful for. You're going to be unhappy. Or if whatever you do does not resonate with the fact that it's something you can be grateful to someone for, or something that changes someone's life, you're never going to be happy. And gratitude starts with the smallest of things. When you wake up in the morning, are you grateful? Are you grateful for that first breath of air? I said, I got to a point, if you have never been assisted to go use the bathroom, my back was so bad, my parents needed to lift me to the bathroom. I couldn't use the walker, I couldn't get into a wheelchair. It was just agonizing. It was literally like having a knife stuck up my back and twisted. That's how bad the pain was. If you've heard of sciatic pain from a spinal injury, you'll be told that it's, if not equal to giving birth, it's probably worse. So the little things, today I think I'm seeing that we're talking about gratitude. Let's try to be grateful. Let's try to be forgiving. Let's look at each other if we have wronged each other. Apologize and be grateful that you can live, you can walk, you've got a roof over your head. Things that we all take for granted. We stay in the suburbs. I don't know how many of us go to the high density suburbs and see the way people live life. When we see, for instance, I'll give you a bit of shock therapy. When we see a prostitute on the street, the first thing we think of is she's going to burn in hell. Have we ever thought of how she got there? Have we ever thought of why she's doing it? She might not have a family. Her parents might have died when she was young, no support. Let us be grateful for every little thing that we have. You might, well, as harsh as the economic times are right now, you might not see 3 meals a day, but at least you see 2. Our parents can't pick us up. Or we have cars to go to and from home, or we've got money to catch a cab. Are any of us grateful for those little things? I think that's the one question that has constantly played in my mind for the longest of times. I think I've gone a little bit off tangent because I think I'd sent for the Pajal, the various women, but I looked at everyone here and I thought, okay, what is the one thing that's going to resonate with anyone, or with everyone here? And the question is, are we really grateful? What have we done to show that we're grateful? I think the last thing that I wanted to mention, as I said, I'm not going to bore everyone, every little thing that I've been through. I wanted it to be straight to the point. I wanted it to be a bit of a shock to everyone. That's why I'd come here and I'd open up as to my personal experience. I told you that I've made money, I've gambled it away, I've given it away. I don't regret what I've done. I probably wouldn't have done things differently. I grew up in a life of privilege before my dad left government on unceremonious terms because he didn't agree with the politics of the day. We grew up with chauffeurs to come pick us up from school. When I could drive, there was a car that I could drive myself to and from school with. I think this is what I say in Shona, which is which is direct translation. The first time that I ever got into public transport was when I was an adult. It was for the earlier years my dad used to provide. It made me appreciate that there was another side of life. It made me appreciate that there's hardship. I've got friends who stay in the high density suburbs. I sat down and I had a meal prostitutes from time to time, hear their story. If you've got an extra $10, it's not going to kill you to give them that $10 and tell her, go home, keep yourself safe, go buy your children food. Whatever she does with it from there is her business. She goes and drinks it up, but the intention that you've given it with is noble. And it's to show gratitude for what you've been given, or what we've been given here. I said we tend to be very selfish. I think the little economic situation that we've had in the country has shown me that as Zimbabweans, not just as people, but as Zimbabweans, we still haven't gotten to a point where we are grateful. What did we do when things got bad? We went and we all hoarded stuff. Whether it was cooking oil, whether it was petrol, whether it was rice, whether it was flour, we got tons of it at home. And there's tons of stuff that we don't need. If we had been grateful for what we had, we would have left for other people as well. So it boils down to the fact that, are we really grateful? Do we appreciate what we have and where we are? I told people I've survived on $1 a day. Point in time, my parents couldn't afford my tuition when I was in varsity. Last year before I got my job and started working, I had to start working to maintain myself. I began to be very grateful for the little things that they've done. And I think with everything that's happened, I've given my life to the church. Well, not really to the church. I think I am more spiritual than I am religious. I haven't decided to follow a certain religious inclination yet. But I'm very spiritual because I believe I have to account to higher being. It doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, whether you're Roman Catholic, whether you're Buddhist, whether you go to the Masoe and you're apostolic faith, we all believe in a higher power. Even the Satanists believe in a higher power. For them it's Satan, but everyone at the end of the day believes in a higher power. And we need to show that we are grateful to that higher power for whatever we have. We talk about sinning, we talk about burning in hell and all this. As I said, I don't like shock therapy. I don't believe anyone's going to burn in hell. I don't believe that's God's real intention for us. It's for us to be grateful and to be caring towards one another. And I think more or less what I wanted to say in conclusion was I don't know whether anyone, in terms of, I don't know how old everyone is. Everyone knows Mary Mary, right? The group Mary Mary. They've got a song called I Just Can't Give Up Now. In terms of struggles, I think that has been my go-to song. And I think part of it says, there will be mountains that I will have to climb, and there will be battles that I will have to fight. But victory or defeated, it's up to me to decide. But how can I expect to win if I never try? The question is, do we ever try? Do we ever try to overcome? And then it goes on to say, I just can't give up now, which is more or less the chorus of the song. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't want to believe He brought me this far to leave me. God is not going to leave any one of us. We have daily challenges. We have daily struggles. We overcome those struggles. I've overcome depression for years. I think the more you talk about it, the easier it is to deal with. A lot of us tend to hide things that happen. It's only a scandal if you hide it. Okay, so I tried to commit suicide a couple of times. So, I think, as I said, a lot of us go through different things. We go through different challenges, different struggles. But when we go through those struggles, I don't think any of us takes a step back. Take 5 minutes, take a day. Think about what there is to be grateful for. It'll change your entire mindset on everything. I don't generally like giving talks. I don't like people being quiet. I'm not a lecturer. I didn't come here to lecture you guys. I think you're a bit too quiet. If there's anything on depression that anyone feels like they want to throw out there, or struggles, or what I've been through, I think I'll also, whenever someone feels something resonates with them, they are more than free to put up their hand and ask. So as I said, I'm not going to beat about the bush. As I said, I just wanted to have some food for thought. I wanted you guys to be grateful, to think about what you're all grateful for. Tonight, I just want you to sit back. I said, get home, not even here, get home. Think about everything that's happened to you. It could be the last 10, 20 years, 30 if you feel like some of us. or 40, I don't know how old Father Sacha is, whether to the 40 to the 40-year-old region. But just for you to think as to what you're grateful for and how you can show that gratitude to someone else. How you've grown, what your contribution towards not just the church but society is. So on that note, I hope we are all grateful. I think the last thing that I'll say is, I was looking at, I think Psalms 23, which says, I think everyone knows, that's probably everyone's favorite psalm, which says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Everyone knows how the rest of that goes. As I said, I am spiritual, not religious. I'm not going to Bible bash you. But yeah, just be grateful and be happy and spread the gratefulness and the gratuity to other people. So I will leave it to the floor if there are any strange questions.
Living in Zimbabwe, as much as I love my country, the mental health care is really poor, even the knowledge. How are you managing your bipolar in a country like Zimbabwe, or even your dyslexia?
I've dealt with it personally in one of two ways. The first was I decided to start looking at myself. The stigma is horrible. As I said, when I was finally diagnosed and it came to the attention of my employers, which was Old Mutual, you're kind of put in a little box that you've got mental issues. Bipolar is, yes, it's a mental disorder, or should I say a mental handicap, but it doesn't dictate what you are and what you do at the end of the day. I've been off bipolar medication for the last 2 years. I've sat back, I have fought it, because one thing you need to realize is you may suffer from depression, but at the end of the day, it's never an excuse to behave badly. You cannot use your bipolar as an excuse to bunk work, you can't use it as an excuse to do whatever you want to act out. At the end of the day, you also need some sort of accountability. As human beings, we don't like accountability. It took me seeing a psychiatrist this year who told me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. Every other person for the last about 15 years of my life excused my bad behavior. They didn't tell me what I needed to hear, which is at the end of the day, you might be depressed, you might be sad, but at the end of the day, the final decision is yours. What you do with the depression, what you do with the situation around you is on you. You pull the trigger. You just need to be honest about it. As I said, I've realized once you start talking about things, it becomes easier. That's why I said, a scandal is only a scandal when you hide it. You tell someone, yes, I suffer from bipolar, whether it be an employer or a friend. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not. You learn to accept me as I am. But the minute you start hiding stuff, people don't understand, people can't comprehend. And that's the one thing that I realized, that when you start talking about it, when you start talking about your condition, when you start talking about whatever things are there to trouble you, it might not be bipolar, they become easier to deal with and easier to handle. So
I think a week ago, a friend of mine told me she was suffering from depression.
Yeah.
But then I'm only starting to realize that I probably didn't take it seriously as I was supposed to. And my question is, if a person does tell you that they're suffering from depression, how exactly can you assist them?
When someone comes to you and they ask you or they tell you they're suffering from depression, the best thing you can do for them, don't belittle them. Sit down and listen. It doesn't matter how small the problem is. Sit down and listen. One of the challenges that I've had is I've lost a lot of friends. My year was a horrible year. I've lost, my first girlfriend committed suicide in, I think it was 2014, because people didn't listen. I had one of my closest friends who stayed literally down the road from me, Tulani Hadi, committed suicide in South Africa. A week later, Tawi committed suicide. And then I've got another friend called Andrew Mahu who committed suicide. I've tried it, almost succeeded. We tend, as I said, don't downplay anyone's problems. Literally taking 5 minutes of your time to sit down and listen to someone's problems can actually save their lives. We tend to be so caught up in the rush of things around us in life that we tend to forget what's important. As I said, human relationships are extremely important. If someone tells you they're depressed, it's usually an outcry that, I want you to listen to my problems. And I said, it's not going to kill you 5 minutes, an hour. I've got friends with various problems. Sometimes, if it means they're in Australia and I need to stay at least, I need to stick up at least 2-3 hours on the phone in the evening to listen to their problems, I do that. I said, you can change someone's life simply by taking that little time out of your day. So if you do have a friend, if you do have a family member who does suffer from bipolar depression, sit down and talk to them. Sometimes it's not even depression. Sometimes someone can be in a bad space. Sit back and listen. I've got a colleague recently, unfortunately I can't disclose the name. He was involved in a scandal that he embezzled $400,000 from his employer. He needed to talk. I've been there for it. Part of it is, as I said, just take 5 minutes of your time to listen to someone. You can make a difference.